Yerrr!
Yerrr! You remember when Wilkins used to put that whack energy in the air and be like,
Yerrr.
Yerrr.
hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hello.
Sound like
Hello,
a college
everybody.
graduate.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hair.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 99 of the Yerrr Sports Show. I am your host, Big Baby, aka the soul of R&B. And to my right, because these two fools been here, but to my right, we have the returning Queen Tay. Welcome back.
Thank you. The queen in the north, the queen in the east.
Look at Matt's face. What?
What's up, everybody? I'm back.
It's
Welcome
good to
back.
have you
Welcome
back, too.
We'll see how long. We'll see how long for.
Trying to understand this damn show. It's aggravating the hell out of me.
What show?
What
Bel Air. Like,
I'm
trying not to like
I
compare
haven't
it.
started it.
You're gonna love it. Don't get me wrong. It's a really, really good show. It's just like I don't think it's for our generation per se, right? It's like for this generation because it's all of this generation's problems. Don't get me wrong. It's sprinkled in a little, 90 dust in it, But yeah, I like Aunt Viv. I don't get it. And Carlton's a crackhead. I couldn't believe it.
You spoiling it for me.
I'm not spoiling too much. Everybody's been talking about Carlton.
I haven't really been on social medias like that. I posted last night for the first time in a minute.
You're lucky. Every time I try to get away, Dre brings me back.
I didn't tell anybody to do anything this week because I've been sick. So
Tenderoni?
No.
Tenderoni?
Nah, the last victim was Pete. Before Pete, it was me.
I had it before you.
You had it after me. I got it like the week and a half before the surgery.
I think you had it first. You had it first, and then it was Matt, and I was the last one to have it. Yeah.
COVID made me lose like 7 pounds, and then I gained it right back.
I was excited when I got it. I lost the weight. I was like, ha ha. And then I got it back. I was like, ha ha.
That shit came right back.
Right back. I ate a chicken wing, and I was like,
You singing the song?
Chicken wing,
hot dog and macaroni.
My homie.
To my bottom right, we have Pete Rosado, the voice of a generation.
Hold on. Read his entire name.
No.
Pete, no. I don't care what Kyrie did.
He dropped 60. Not disrespecting.
You know what, Pete? Guess what? I don't care either.
Thank you.
And to my bottom left, Mr. Call Me Brooklyn himself.
You know what I'm
biggest fan.
Kyrie Brian Windhorse.
You want to know what I'm sick of right now? I'm sick of this song that my daughters keep singing. It's something about some Bruno. Like, we don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, my God.
Fantastic song.
I'm like, why? Like, first of all, who's Bruno? Are we talking about Bruno Mars? Are we talking about Bruno Sammartino?
So you have not seen Encanto?
No.
Saw the movie.
Okay, you need to watch Encanto, and it'll make sense.
Need to watch it.
It's that
fantastic movie.
Yes,
y'all are all adults, and y'all sitting there. Pete don't even got kids. So I'm trying to understand how the hell he even decided to watch this shit.
I don't have kids either, and I watch it.
It was a beautiful movie.
Matt, I ain't watch it. Matt, I ain't watch it either. So
Well, first of all, I watched it because it's a story about a Latinx family being a Latino. I wanted to see how it was handled. That was one. Secondly, there was a great cast, and I'd heard all about it, and it was a fantastic movie. And third, when you watch it, I mean, listen, if you can't watch a Disney Pixar movie on your own without just having to need a reason to watch it, I mean, you never need a reason to watch a Disney Pixar movie.
I do.
Well, you're like 40? Yes, you do.
I watched it with my mother, my grandmother, and my sister on New Year's Day. So.
Oh,
That's I think every New Year's Day we all spend together. That's how Christmas.
Stop fronting, Dre. You stepfather and somebody, baby. That's what it is.
I'm really not. I'm really not.
Jay look like the prototypical stepfather. I swear, yo. You want some Go-Gurt? We gonna watch some Lion King right now. Let's go.
Yeah, I tell you,
Matt gonna make me finish him on the podcast. I'm gonna let him rock.
Stepdads are the best.
I'm gonna let
the best.
Matt
go to the corner store. You get $5. Get whatever you want. $5.
Don't tell your mama.
Don't tell your mama.
Stepdads are the best, yo.
Miss Shaw, Miss Maxine Shaw in the bottom left. Leave me alone.
You want some Snickers? Just make sure you finish that chocolate before we get inside. You know your mom said you can't have it after 5.
Come on, little Tink.
No, I'm tired of y'all. I'm about to start meeting people today. Oh my gosh. How's everybody been? Tay, how have you been? You haven't been here. So we need to know
I have been surprisingly exhausted. But I'm good. It feels good to be back on the show. I know last time I left, I had a meltdown, and I'm better now, guys. So just, I'm good.
No, we all know what you're talking
about. People that are asking, yes, we still love each other.
Always.
We are brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the ones that watched us live and saw me have a whole.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. There was nothing that happened on the live feed.
Anyway, you already know. Me and Matt go back and forth all the time, and I feel like I'm a person that sometimes I need to I know I'm really fiery. I know I'm really guns blazing all the time. And sometimes I got to put the holster away. So today, I'm putting the holster away. Holster is in the other room.
We'll see how long that
lasts. My best behavior. Not going to go get the strap today. At all. I don't care how much you talk about Kyrie Irving. It doesn't bother me anymore.
We're not talking about Kyrie.
We're not talking about Kyrie today, actually.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
We have zero things to talk about Kyrie.
But I will say, I've been good. I've been around, been around the world, and I'm home
Twice.
for the first time. This is the first time you guys have seen me home in a long time, which feels good. This is blessed, booked, and busy.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's new hair. Loving the hair.
Thank you. They do say blondes have more fun, so I'm trying to test out that theory.
Why you keep beating up on the dog, Pete?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
You don't want to do is get cuddled, and he's in there no.
Right. Excuse me. Don't shack your dog. We're not trying to.
No, well after when the camera goes, poop, poop. You okay?
Come here. I'm sorry.
Nah, she wanna play, but she always wants to play when I got something to do. Like when I'm sitting down to eat is when she wants to play. When I'm sitting down to do work is when she wants to play. When I'm sitting down to do the pod is when she wants to start playing. And then she starts whining, and I'm like, yo, I'm busy. I got ish to do. We can't play right. So she just brought me her toy and dropped it in front of me. So I just threw it down the hallway so she go chase after it. It takes her a little while to get the hint of okay, this isn't the right time. But there will be time later. I'll probably take it to the park a little bit later today before I head out to go run to the show I got to go to later. But, I'll take it to the park, let her go run around. But right now, I just can't play with you.
You going to a show without a haircut?
I'm not booked on the show.
Oh, okay. Just make sure.
Well, at least it ain't worse than. Never mind. We ain't gonna talk about that.
And Matt, your hairline look like it's one level like this.
I don't care no more. I ain't gotta impress nobody.
Like this.
I don't care no more.
Look. Look, it's right here.
It's all right.
He got the Horizon haircut. That's tough.
I'm good with that.
The Horizon.
I'm straight with that.
You going to take out your dress and go?
I'm thinking about. I'm in the process of taking them out too. That's the crazy thing.
You're done?
What, with the dreads?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow process, but yeah, I'm fading them out.
What you gonna do with the hair?
I'll probably keep it short, or I might cut it all off.
Keep it short.
Yeah.
Not a bowl.
You better not try to fade your hair where your hairline is at, bro. Don't do that. I'm gonna let you have it. You better not. You better not. You better not.
Now this shit is getting good.
You better not.
This gonna be a long hour, ain't it? All right.
Yo, so I really want to know, and I want to know how your day's going, Dre. But then I really want to know how we're gonna settle the score for pick 5 because last I checked, there was a tie, and I need a 2-peat so I can get a shirt that says 2-peat.
Tay 2 times.
I'm not doing trivia.
2-time Tay.
I'm not
2-time and Tay.
No.
So you guys know that I have an affinity for saying that I'm gonna date old men, right?
You mean beat them
Now,
up?
now we know that. Okay.
Yeah, now we know.
You guys know that, right? That I always. You guys never heard me say that I wanted to date a guy that had 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on the banana peel.
No,
I've never heard
we've
you say
never
that
heard
at
that.
all.
Okay,
I don't even
say that for another
I don't
time.
even champion.
No.
I thought she was gonna say 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on the bidet, but I was like, damn.
On the banana peel.
Oh,
Wow.
gosh.
So
No?
you just want to kill off your next boyfriend?
I didn't. You see how you said kill off, and you see I resent that.
You said in the grave and on a banana.
Which means
How do you know she put the banana peel there?
I didn't say she. I didn't say she did.
Father Time put the banana peel there, not me.
That's what I'm saying. So you just want him already on double ARP and Social Security.
Yes.
Like,
they don't require much. They just want companionship. They're like a puppy. I see no difference in what I'm doing than what Pete is doing with his puppy.
Can we
Listen, puppy
please change
require
the
a lot.
subject, please?
A puppy don't require you to do some. Puppies don't require you to do strange things for some change.
Speaking of criminal activity, what is the first topic? Please, wow.
No, tough crowd.
No. I'm actually interested. I'm actually interested in hearing this now. I
had told
Tay out here trying to be the black Anna Nicole Smith.
Okay, I didn't say. I just said I just want somebody over the age of 65.
Okay.
You know, between 65 and 73.
You know, there's websites for that.
That's specific, right?
That's a strangely specific like age range.
Well, yeah, I did a lot of research, and my thing was like, they just want companionship, somebody to push them in their wheelchair and just have fun and put like, you know, This Is Us on.
I know a lot of 73-year-old guys that ain't in a wheelchair yet. Like,
oh, you
they're highly active.
Okay, all right. To be fair, my grandfather's almost 90. He jogs more than I do. So to say that, I don't want somebody. I want somebody older than my dad, but younger than my granddad.
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense. No.
That makes sense.
Am I getting too old for this?
What do you mean you get too old? Look,
I'm
interested. I'm listening. I'm intrigued.
A sugar baby or a sugar toddler?
You ain't a sugar toddler. You are literally
get him off my screen because he's being negative.
Young adult.
Get him off my screen.
You're a preteen in that sugar stand.
I mean, and part of the, if I'm not mistaken,
you trying to say you trying to diss me? So I can't be nobody's sugar baby.
Well, there might be some things you might have to do that from the sounds of it you may not be wanting to do.
I don't think you're gonna be
sugar. Wait. You said she was a sugar auntie?
7-year-old man.
No, I said she's gonna be equal.
Oh, the same age? Oh, that's where we going. Okay, mystical.
No, sugar. To be sugar, you would have to be literally like a baby.
Watch yourself off my screen, mystical. Keep bouncing me against the wall.
Oh my gosh.
Anyhow,
bouncing that old man against the wall.
No, because they don't require much. All they want to do is watch baseball or whatever old pastime sports there are.
So that one time they need their insulin shot and Tavia nowhere to be found.
I'll give him his medicine.
That's not Tavia. No.
He want the other medicine.
Tavia, no.
He ain't getting that medicine. Okay, that medicine.
He want the other medicine.
There's no access to that. Okay.
She's just there for companionship. She's not there to be the medical doctor.
I think I'm a good companion.
Listen, he wants you to bring him his pudding pop in a nurse's outfit.
Just sitting there talking about.
That's all I got to do. Well, I won't wear no nurse's outfit, but what I envision it, and I told a good friend that I was over this phase in my life, but I feel like I haven't invested enough into it to be over it yet because I have not dated an older man, so I don't know. So
just don't start today.
Any of y'all uncles or great uncles out there, if he has a decent pension, Social Security, disability, baby, but not like, all right. And then if he has his own home, I'm down.
All my uncles got records.
At least fake teeth, no gummies.
All my uncles got records. I don't think you need
Do they get Social Security? Do they have a pension?
Some of them still work.
Ooh, I want that. I work. I don't want a hard-working older man. I want an older man that with money. I realize that he has to have some type of money. I can make sure his last few years are comfortable.
His last few years. Oh my God.
Wow. Tay out here like if it don't happen in a certain amount of time, I'm just gonna put some arsenic in the food.
You see how you assassinate my character? You see how you assassinate my? I'll just break up with him and find one of his.
He already broke his hip. He don't need you to break up with him too.
Yeah, but I'll go to his community center and find another one of his homies.
Wow.
I don't understand why you want to trade up watching whatever you watch today and to watch Matlock and
I was about to say Matlock.
Matlock, like a
and Murder She Wrote
and MASH. And MASH.
No,
I hate that show.
MASH. That's how I knew it was time to go to bed. Y'all might be too young for that, right? But when I was a little kid,
how old do you think we are? 12?
You're much. Obviously, you just said that. You just said that I was too young to be a sugar baby. So obviously, you're throwing shots at my age. But anyway, so when MASH was coming on in the nighttime, I knew it was bedtime. So maybe I'll get some sleep.
I know I was up too late when MASH was.
Yeah, and he has a.
You talking about Nick at Night?
Oh my God, no! It wasn't even Nick at
No,
Night.
it wasn't.
It was
on anything.
TV.
It was on regular ass TV.
Regular TV. It was like the Different Strokes came on first. The Facts of Life.
Love
then
that
Family Ties. Then MASH.
You might get Cheers on in the middle of the night sometimes.
Everybody knows your name.
Cheers and Happy Days.
Have you heard that whole song?
Happy Days is one of my favorite shows.
I couldn't get into it.
I loved it. Fonzie, oh my God. Every dude. I would date Fonzie now.
Is that
I would
Winkler?
date Robin De Niro.
Henry Winkler or whatever the fuck his name is?
Yeah,
Henry
Henry
Winkler. Robin De Niro. I would
he gonna want a Henry Winkler something on Tay. She gonna be like, no, I ain't beat for it.
Yeah, he gonna give
all
you
you gotta do is let them take their nighttime medicine and be like, baby, you gave me the best 36 seconds of my life. And then how would they know? They weren't there. They were asleep.
Imagine
they don't go 36 seconds anymore. They got the Viagra. They take the
Blue Chew
off of Viagra.
End of dinner.
They got Blue Chew. They got the honey.
I don't have to put that in the nighttime medicine.
I'm just saying.
They got the horny goat weed that they bought at the corner bodega.
I'm just trying to figure out why Peter keep offering up Tay to these old men when all she trying to do is just be around them.
No, because what I'm saying is, just
be around them. We don't want to be on top of them, you know?
What I'm saying is like, you know, yeah, there is a subsection of old dudes that want a sugar baby just for companionship.
Yeah, you hesitating a sugar baby because you trying to say I'm old, so you just
I'm just saying the sugar baby's like fresh out of high school, college, or something.
That's what you call a sugar baby who just out of high school. That's what you call a freaking felony. Okay,
exactly. That's what they were doing.
No. If he's old enough to be my grandfather, how am I not a sugar baby?
But what you end up having, like, there's a small subsection that just wants.
How old is your grandfather?
But there's a lot of dudes out there.
Hold up, Pete. How old is your grandfather? How does your grandfather say?
My grandfather was in his 80s.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I bet. But the thing is,
imagine an 80-year-old dating a 25-year-old makes no sense.
My parents are young. My mother's not even in her 60s. My mother's in her 50s, and my dad just turned 60. So I know y'all trying to say like I'm some ancient freaking relic over here.
I did not say that at all.
That's what you're trying to insinuate.
You called her equal. You didn't call her sugar.
I'm just saying. Is she really like a fruit gusher, or is she like, you know, the little lipstick candy, the Tootsie Roll? We don't know.
I'm so lost in that reference. I don't even. What you trying to say? You trying to give me my secrets on the air?
No.
All right.
I'm neither, by the way.
I'm just okay.
I
feel like this is about to go right.
I personally give up. I have not been active on the dating scene by choice, but I give up already. I don't even want to step out. So just send me, because the guys that like me, I do not like.
Why?
Because I don't like them.
Why?
Because they're too short. They're like your height. Like, what are you gonna do to me? Like,
because they have terrible haircuts, Matt. That's why. Because they have terrible haircuts. That's why. Because they have terrible haircuts and can't point correctly. That's why.
Boy, look like he got his hair cut on the helicopter. I swear, that shit was crazy.
That was it.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Guys that like me, I don't usually like. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's them. It's always them.
Pete, do you kiss your dog on the lips?
No.
Yep.
I'm almost certain that he does.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I'm almost certain.
That's some nasty white people shit. We don't do that. Nope. Nope.
Look, the dog came because he knows he's lying. Look, the dog is like, prove it.
Look, dog like, what? Excuse me?
What you say? Look how you looking.
Look, I'm going to kiss you later. No.
That's what cleans his glasses. The tongue. The tongue is what cleans his glasses. I'm telling you. That's what it is.
Oh, look at her.
You just want to play.
She is cute, though. I would say.
She is.
She's adorable. She's a sweetheart. She's 3 years old. She's an absolute sweetheart. She loves people.
Pete got 2
burn that
girlfriends.
shirt. Yeah.
Basically.
But
How was she
anyway,
doing?
getting back to the matter at hand. This generation, there is pee in the dating pool.
You said there's pee in the dating pool?
Dating pool, yes.
Somebody peed in the pool.
And I don't want to put my toe in there. I could post screenshots of some of the messages that I've gotten from people, and it's not pretty. So I'd rather an old guy who doesn't know about Facebook, who doesn't know about Instagram. You know, all he want to do is watch his channels 2 through 11, maybe an occasional channel 13, News 12, and we just live our little quiet, happy, brief time together.
You know, those people running out. Right?
I know, that's why
they hit the expiration date. Like,
my damn dad on Facebook. That lets you know everything. He in his 60s. He on Facebook. I'm like,
who?
My father.
Is he single?
No, he just
Imagine
got
I dated your dad.
Yo, that would be sick. Bro.
Yo, tell your dad to call me, Matt.
Yo, that'd be. Oh my gosh, the show would be insane.
Sit down. I said, sit down, son. Sit down, son.
Son, don't talk back to me now.
Don't talk back to mama now.
Oh,
Don't make me call your daddy.
Don't make me call your daddy. Yeah,
in the middle of the show, don't make me call you daddy.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call your daddy.
Bye.
Call your daddy.
Did you hear that, Matt?
Yeah, I heard her.
Okay.
Oh, damn, man.
Matt, you about to get a stepmom's.
The hell I'm not. I am. She's. I know who she is. I met her. It ain't Tay. She's engaged. She's engaged.
Yeah, Matt.
Yo, Dre, your dad is fine.
My dad a hoe. Chill.
Let me tell you something. He would get his feelings hurt.
Oh boy.
That's it. He married though, so I don't know how much of the whole thing he is in. But
if any of y'all fathers are bored, tell him to call Def.
I mean, if you're trying to go to North Carolina,
look, Pete, father.
He live in North Carolina, and Puerto Rican men are cheap. Sorry, Pete.
No, listen, my dad married to a black woman.
Yeah, she probably likes the modest things in life. I'm not like
Dominican.
No, my dad married to a black woman from the South.
Does she like Louboutins?
I'm telling you, bro.
Does she wear
Louboutins? She likes flat shoes.
Does she like Chanel?
South women are different.
Does she like Chanel?
They like the simple.
Not anymore. I don't know. So my stepmother worked. My stepmother used to work for many years for the Screen Actors
she had to
Guild.
work? Ooh, no thank you.
Before she met my father, she worked for the Screen Actors Guild for many years. She moved when they moved to North Carolina. She left the Screen Actors Guild.
But Southern women,
just in North Carolina, by the way. Had a grand old time. Went to Pins.
Beautiful place.
They just need somebody that's going to put money in the
North
offering.
Carolina is a beautiful place.
And let me tell you something. And I make a lot of money on my own, so he has to be like, you know.
Yeah, that's just going to send all the guys in your inbox. What's up, Queen? I'm just trying to be your king. Ace of Spades.
Your king.
That's what you used to say in the inbox, Matt?
Fuck out of here. No.
That's what they said back in the days. They're like, hey, little mama, what's shaking?
Never said none of that.
And they were talking to Matt. So my hey, little mama.
I like your dreads, dude. But you know, Matt, if you shaved your face, you have very cute feminine looks too. So you would be a nice looking, like that's how I know that your daughters are beautiful. That they look, your features look good on women too. So I take that as a compliment.
You're a good-looking woman, Matt.
You're a good-looking woman, Maxine.
Yeah, Miss Shaw.
I look like my mother. That's what I look like.
Yeah, she was beautiful too. So that's why.
She was.
Beautiful. So, you have very feminine.
Me and T was thinking about pushing me and not pushing her, but like letting her do like acting and shit because she's been
pushing
like,
her.
No, seriously, she
act for the camera, baby.
Tell
them about Bruno.
She created her own little. I don't know how she did it. She's 5. She created her own YouTube.
You did it in the middle of the night.
I did not do it.
You don't be sleeping.
I did not do nothing of the sort. She got her own little TikTok following. I don't even know how to operate TikTok. I follow her and I'm like, how does she know all of this? Even Maya got it. Maya got a TikTok too. Singing that "We Don't Know About Bruno" thing. I don't know what that's about.
We don't talk about Bruno.
I don't understand why we don't talk about him. Why we can't talk about him.
All right,
family and generational trauma. That's why you have to watch the movie and understand.
Matt, so he's the uncle.
Matt,
he's one of the uncles. He sees the future. He sees the future. He has prophecies, and people always misinterpret his prophecies as negative. So he got ostracized from the family because he felt like it'd be a good idea to take himself away from the family. So they don't talk about Bruno.
My God, why would they put that in a kid's story?
The same way that the Little Mermaid gave up all her stuff, everything. She was a whole princess under the sea, and some guy, she gave it up for a boy. Imagine, that's so misogynistic. By the way,
that's not misogynist. That's love.
That's not love.
That movie, wow! Like you know how old the Little Mermaid was.
Her voice. She gave up her voice and her fins and all her gadgets and gizmos galore for Eric, and he fell for the first other thing smoking. That's love.
I mean, that happens in the Bronx all the time.
True. Ariel and Ursula too with the names, and Eric.
Yeah.
Other people
and the crazy uncle that has prophecies and
so that's why Peter related to the story.
That's why he related to the story. His Uncle Felix be dead on the corner giving up.
I related to the main character a lot because the main character is like the one person born into a family. So the entire family gets everybody in the family gets a power when they turn a certain age. And the grandmother is like on this big, we got to use these powers to help this community that, basically is built because of us, because it's this whole backstory of they were escaping oppression, and the grandfather sacrificed his life, created this magical candle. It gives everybody in the family powers, and it created this enclosed community for them to be safe. So the grandmother's we have to use these powers to always help the community. We always have to be perfect. We always have to be on top of our game. And the main character is the first person in the family that didn't get a power. And she's ostracized from the family because it's just you're family, but you're different. And she's also the only one that's starting to notice that there's cracks in the family. And it's this whole it's basically a story of family and generational trauma, how we work so hard to uphold what our parents and our grandparents want, even though they don't realize that making people uphold that creates cracks in the family. It's a really beautiful story, it really is.
I'll watch it tonight. I got enough alcohol in my house today.
You don't need alcohol to watch it. But let's get into today's topics. We haven't done.
You need alcohol to watch it, bruh.
Yeah, you got a problem, bro.
You gotta understand. Watching movies with my family, they to sing and talk and ask questions. I'm just I just want to watch the movie.
Do we need to have a little intervention
about me drinking? I don't even drink that much.
Explain that much.
I've been drinking wine.
Usually, what people say when they drink so much.
I'm drinking wine now.
Why?
Arbor Mist.
It's 4:00 in the afternoon.
It's 7 o'clock.
I haven't had a drink in a month.
I feel bad for you.
Why? You should feel happy for me.
Thing. I'm happy for you. If you're happy, I'm happy.
I hate the fact that you're drinking Arbor Mist too. That is pathetic.
Look, we gotta talk about my short-term disability right now. I'm just
Right, let's get into today's topic.
set it up?
Nope, it's been the same, and you probably didn't hear it. You probably didn't know
Haven't heard it in a
because
while.
we haven't heard it in a while. We've just been talking, just getting into it. I don't know where we start.
With the
DeShaun
second hoe in the NFL, we got
Who's
two
the
hoes
second
now.
Who's a hoe?
You know who?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
Why is he a hoe?
He a hoe.
Why?
So, let's start with him. Let's start with the
I'm
GOAT.
disappointed in you already, Tavia.
Let's start with the GOAT.
I'm
Why
disappointed
is
in
he
you
a hoe?
already. You let your
Tom
fan get
Brady
the best of you.
2 months ago.
Let me say
No.
something. I don't know how my sentiments have changed so much over the past couple of years. I used to hate this man, and I never even met this man. I used to think he was the bane of my existence, Tom Brady. But honestly, I am glad we get to see him a couple more years. Like, I was wondering the direction in which football was going to go into without him, honestly. And they were so close this year. You get what I'm saying? They were closer than the damn Packers.
They both hoes. Him and Aaron Rodgers both is a hoe.
So I feel like the retirement was a little abrupt. Because I felt like with Ben Roethlisberger, I felt like he was gonna retire. You get what I'm saying? Like, I felt like it was coming. You get what I'm saying? But I felt all signs.
Did we not just talk about this?
All signs to me pointed that he was gonna come back. So that's why I was kind of taken aback that he did retire. And I feel like maybe he was conflicted about that. It didn't feel like he was at ease with the retirement. Like, you can look in a quarterback's eyes or a player's eyes when you know that they're done or they're nearing the end. Like, I thought that, honestly, I didn't even see that look in, what's his name for the Packers? Aaron Rodgers. I didn't see that look in his face either. I saw the look in his face like he was sick of this. But with Tom Brady, I felt like it was abrupt. I feel like he has a couple more good years in him, at least one. I mean, I want him to have a proper send-off. He deserves it.
He had a proper send-off. He had a great season. He went to the playoffs. Goodbye. You're done. You're 72 years old.
Yo, Pete is the definition. Yo, the beef is forever.
Yo, Pete, you keep summoning his spirit. You keep summoning his spirit.
It's your fault, Pete. It is your fault.
I heard I hope he stubs his toe and is out for the whole year. That's what I hope.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. Thank you, Pete.
Okay.
That's how the record goes. Like the last 9 seasons, that's how it goes, right? Win the Super Bowl, miss the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, miss it. That's how it's been going for like the last 8 seasons.
Listen, I hope he stubs his toe. I hope he stubs his toe and is out for the whole year. I hope he goes into the preseason and he gets tackled and he has some minor injury that keeps him out for the whole year. Nothing career or life altering. But I hope what happened to Drew Bledsoe happens to him. I hope he gets hit so hard that his backup takes his job. Okay. For the rest of his career. Like, I'm tired of it. And I also feel bad. I also have some resentment because if I was the dude who paid over $500,000 for what should have been his final touchdown, I would go to Tom Brady's house and it'd be on site. It would be on site.
But at the moment when he didn't know that was the last touchdown football. He didn't know that. It wasn't as if we knew that he was going to retire.
He had retired. That's why it went up for auction, because he retired. So they put it up for auction. It's the final touchdown of Brady's career.
Listen.
And he paid over $500,000. And then hold on. Let's talk about Brady.
Brady can do no wrong to me anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one. Brady being a whole asshole. Brady went online, went on Twitter. Okay, this ball, guy paid over $500,000 for it. Okay, probably been a multi-million-dollar ball. But now it's valued at a little over $20,000 because Brady's coming back, right? And what did Brady say? He said he hit up his Bitcoin company. He's like, "Hey, can we donate a Bitcoin to this guy's favorite charity? Give the man a Bitcoin, not his
charity. You always give it to charity, so you can get that written.
Give one to charity and give it to the man. But you over here, this man,
give it to charity.
Listen, okay.
Look how you try to make him look better. You make him look better. Look how you trying to make him
I
look
think
good.
it's bad that he spent 2 months at home and said, "Fuck them kids, I'm coming back to work." That's what I'm.
And
That's the one that I.
and Matt, real talk, parent to parent, you never felt that way?
His wife must not be good at sex.
Well, wait, hold up. Matt, what?
Matt, you ever felt that way?
I can't hear you, Matt. You muted.
I'm gonna be real. Let me tell you something. I love my daughter. I love my daughter. My daughter is my alpha, my omega. I love my daughter, right? Mm-hmm. I love my daughter unconditionally. There's nothing I won't do for my daughter. And you guys know that. You know how I feel about my kid. But when she was born, and it was time for me to either extend my maternity leave or go back to work, I was like, I'm going back to work expeditiously.
Listen,
I went back to work 4 weeks early.
Sound like Talia, I swear. Talia gave birth and went back to work 2 days later. I'm like, what are you doing?
Bye.
Like,
I don't want it.
I was like, bye, your turn.
So we obviously know that Gisele Bündchen can have children and is good at having kids. She has 2 kids with Tom Brady, but she must not be good at recreational sex because he stood home for 2 months and said, I got to go back and play football.
Why it got to be about his wife? Why can't it? Why? All right. I feel like in the pair,
there you go.
If there's any sexual issues, it wouldn't be her.
Ooh.
Old girl dated Leonardo DiCaprio.
He wanted him to stay home. She was the number one reason behind people saying that Brady's going to retire earlier than he said he was going to retire because she wants him to stop playing football and be home. He went home for 2 months, was around his woman for way too long, and said, I'm going to go back on the road.
You see, I want to be single forever. You know what? I'm marrying myself. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Yes, I will marry you today.
I hope Tom Brady
did that and then they divorced themselves.
I hope Tom Brady gets frostbite in his little toe.
Rodman did it.
You know what?
Stop putting all this hate.
I think maybe he felt like he wasn't fully fulfilled. And I think that if you can give it one more time, why not? Why not?
How are you not fulfilled? The man's got more Super Bowl rings than most people have fingers. Okay, this man's got all the damn Super Bowl rings. He has all the way. He's been in the playoffs almost every year of his career. He's been on successful teams everywhere he's gone. He's led 2 teams to multiple Super Bowls. He's led 2 teams to multiple playoffs. Almost every wide receiver that comes to play with him has the best years of their career while playing with him. Because listen, as much as I may hate the man as a player, when he retired, I sat here and I said it, and I say it right now. He is hands down one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. It is what it is. But the man has achieved. There is nothing left for the man to achieve. There is no record he is close to breaking that he can break. There is nothing else that he can do. He has achieved everything. This is hubris.
That sounds like a mediocre explanation. You don't understand the heart of a champion. The heart of a champion is somebody who will not rest until it's done. You have to have a killer instinct.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like some Jet hate, little green, some envious green coming out of you, Pete. You was tired of getting walloped by Tom Brady, and he went to the NFC, and it was cool.
I hope him and Tom Brady I hope him and Aaron Rodgers get lost at sea on the same boat.
What Aaron Rodgers got to do with Tom Brady right now? You got to
Okay. Pete, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Now.
He a hoe, Tavia. He a hoe.
Okay. That is hoe behavior. I'm not gonna front. That's hoe behavior. My thing is they got rid of Devontae Adams, right?
They had to because of the contract that Aaron signed.
Right. So Aaron being selfish once again. Selfish is the common theme that I'm getting with Aaron Rodgers. All this sacrifices just to make the first round of the playoffs, like make it make sense.
And he still don't talk to his parents.
And he still don't talk to his parents.
And he broke up with his fiance.
They back together. She know what.
Oh, look at that.
Now.
Look
he
at
can
that.
talk to her, but can't talk to his mama. Aaron Rodgers is a hoe.
It goes back to what I said about them Packers. The Packers and the Cowboys are the same niggas. They're the same exact people.
It's the worst transition ever.
They're the,
Yo,
they're the same.
your dreads are coming unhinged. I think you don't like what we're saying.
Right.
Yo,
Come on,
but
Medusa, tell us something.
to be honest with you, can I be real with you, honestly? Aaron Rodgers going back to the Packers made no sense to me.
At all.
It made
Especially when it
made
sorry, go
zero
ahead.
sense to me. And to be honest with you, I didn't get it. I really felt like he could have gotten that level of a contract almost anywhere. I will say that a team would invest in that talent. You get what I'm saying? In any other system. I think most systems, even with starting quarterbacks who are performing on par, would take that chance from Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
I don't get why he went back to the Packers. For me, it becomes less about principle and more about greed at that point, because you got rid of your best weapon in order to absorb this huge contract. And now what do we say if they don't make the Super Bowl? Now they have to make the Super Bowl.
And they won't. I said on this show last week, Aaron Rodgers will not win another Super Bowl in the rest of his career in Green Bay. And, at first you said to yourself, okay, we got Aaron Rodgers back. We franchise tagged Davante Adams. And then Davante said, I ain't playing under the franchise tag. You got to sign me to a contract. And then you realize that when you hamstring yourself by making Aaron Rodgers the highest paid quarterback in the NFL,
Can't compete.
now you can't put together a team. So go ahead. Go trade Jordan Love for a number one wide receiver if you can.
Can't.
Matt.
I just feel like that move didn't make any sense. I feel like maybe you know what Aaron Rodgers did, honestly, and I hate to say it. He made the Green Bay Packers look right in that whole situation. And those past couple of years with all the tensions and everything, now you have to point the finger and be like, maybe you were the root of those tensions, because why are you still staying there?
Man. The man who cried wolf. Mm-hmm. Because he had the opportunity to walk out
and go anywhere. He could have played for the Patriots. He could have played for the Seahawks. And he would have fit really well into that offense. You get what I'm saying? And would have had a better shot than what they have with the Packers, because I don't see what they're going to get.
They only got Ray Chew and the crew on the Packers. So
remember them? Remember Ray Chew and the crew from Showtime at the Apollo?
Yeah, I remember. They used to come on before MASH. Matt, what are your thoughts on Mr. Rodgers?
He must somehow agree, because he ain't say nothing.
I do agree. 100% agree. Aaron Rodgers fucked himself. Now you're in a situation where fuck the situation now. The situation before this hit and free agency and all these moves are being made, the rap on you was you're a great quarterback, but you can't make it far. You can't win the big game to get you to the Super Bowl. And the one main excuse everybody had for you was you didn't really have many weapons to get you to the place. You had the weapons to get yourself past freaking San Francisco this year. Your defense played their position right. They held San Francisco to 13. You couldn't score past 10. Right? Yeah, your only weapon that you did have. Now you forced his hand, knowing that he was the top 2 receiver in the league, knowing that he was
number 2, and not.
I would say he's number 2. Pete got me on that one. Me and him got into a debate about that, and he was right. I'm not gonna. Cooper Kupp is number 1, and Davante Adams is definitely number 2, but Davante Adams performs. He's always performed. So he was due for a big contract. You, as the quarterback, the star, the captain, knew that. But one thing that we can appreciate about Tom Brady is Tom Brady will take that pay cut to make sure his team is intact. Aaron Rodgers didn't do that.
And now, I would not be surprised if he does that, because he has not officially signed a contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All he has said is that he is coming back. So I would not be surprised, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a shit ton of free agents.
He's still in the contract. He could have
right,
came
but
back regardless.
the thing is, he can still rework that contract. And I would not be surprised if the reason why we haven't heard much about his contract status is because he's probably going to rework that contract to make sure they can plug a lot of the holes, because Tampa Bay has a lot of free agents that left that team, and they got a lot of holes they got to plug. So, like to your point, I'm sure Brady is going to do what he can do to make sure that he gets what he needs, but that team can put a team around him that makes it worth him coming back. But not Aaron Rodgers.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
So,
maybe he talked to his family. They'd have told him that was a bad move.
It made Vegas so freaking dangerous this year. It's not even funny.
Vegas, that whole West, that whole AFC West is probably the most dangerous division in football right now.
AFC is wild right now.
Yo, what was it? The Chiefs just signed Juju Smith-Schuster. So they got another good wide receiver and weapon for Patrick Mahomes.
What they gonna do on defense? Like,
Nothing.
Okay, he got another weapon. Okay, so what he gonna do when the boys bust back? But get sacked.
Yeah. Right.
And that whole division. Okay, the Raiders have gotten better. The Broncos got way better by getting Russell Wilson at quarterback. Okay, and the Chargers re-signed Mike Williams, and I believe they got somebody else, another wide receiver on that team. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're retooling as well, and they've got third year of Justin Herbert, who's just going to get better. That is the most dangerous division, in my opinion, in football. Outside of, like, obviously you have Brady and the Buccaneers, what the Buccaneers do. You've got Buffalo.
The Cowboys.
You still got those teams out there. But honestly, unless something radical changes or Joe Burrow does what he does again, or the Rams do what they did again, I could see the Super Bowl champion, or at least the AFC representative, coming out of that West.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams are gonna do what they did again, because I don't think they're gonna. I think that was a one and done for them. But I do think that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are a team to reckon with. And I feel like the Chiefs need some pieces on defense in order to compete with this division. The division has changed. And I also think with the Denver Broncos getting so much better, they got so much better. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll had depleted resources from, I would say that the organization depleted resources from Russell Wilson over, I'm about to say Russell Westbrook, but Russell Wilson for a year.
That whole last episode.
So, yeah. That's
Denver probably becomes one of the most dangerous teams now because they already have a stacked defense.
Yeah.
They already have a top defense.
They were just missing a good quarterback. That's all they was missing.
Yeah. They need another tight end, but the Browns just got rid of their tight end. Speaking of the Browns.
Speaking of the Browns.
You are the Cleveland Browns, right?
No, not. Don't put me in there with them.
I'm
just saying.
Say you are the Cleveland Browns. You have Baker Mayfield, not the best, but
at all.
You have Baker Mayfield. You have a couple first-round picks, and you have a chance to get DeShaun Watson. And you do the trade, right? Pretty cool trade. You still have Baker Mayfield. You're going to end up flipping him for something. But you signed DeShaun Watson in this trade for $230 million guaranteed. Guaranteed.
He getting that money. He getting all that money.
Before we get to Mr. Watson, because that's a rabbit hole in itself.
I do not want to jump.
Baker Mayfield.
I'm going to go get the strap.
No.
You should have. No. Did you hear the show last week? Me and Pete was dancing around that damn topic for so long.
No, I wasn't. I was like, nah, let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. But we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it because I
want to get the strap. Let me hear what you gotta say.
Okay. No. So we'll get to that. What do you do with? So now you have Baker Mayfield. How much value can you get out of him now?
Well,
what's the value you can get out of him?
Baker. So there was a report that came out like 2 days before the big trade. There was a report that came out that there was going to be a separation between Baker and the Browns, and it was coming from the side of the Browns. Apparently, they wanted a more adult quarterback. They wanted more of an adult at quarterback than Baker Mayfield. That was coming from the Cleveland Browns.
That is such a goddamn comment.
These are the same people who drafted Johnny Manziel, right?
Right. This was the report coming out of the Cleveland Browns. Now, Baker, to his credit, went on Instagram and made a post saying, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to thank the city of Cleveland for always being great to me, blah, blah, blah. He put Cleveland over heavy, right? But Cleveland had made it very apparent that they were going to move away from Baker Mayfield. Now, the day before the trade, a report comes out that the Cleveland Browns have been told that they are out of the DeShaun Watson sweepstakes. DeShaun had said, nope, don't want to go to Cleveland.
Who does?
So what does Cleveland do? Cleveland turns around and goes back to Baker Mayfield. And Baker says, go F yourself.
Rightfully so.
I want to trade. And the Browns organization then tells Baker Mayfield, we will not trade you. We are not going to agree to your request for a trade. So we want to get rid of you, but we couldn't get the shiny toy we wanted. So now we're not going to let you go. Then the next day, the trade gets approved. DeShaun Watson to the Browns. It's DeShaun and a 5th-round pick in 2024. The Browns sent 3 first-round picks, a 2023 3rd-round pick, and a 2024 4th-round pick. So they gave up all their draft capital for the next couple of years.
Real
for DeShaun Watson. And like Dre said, gave him a $48 million raise because they signed him to a new deal for 5 years, $230 million, which represented a $48 million deal, $48 million raise. And that entire contract is guaranteed, making DeShaun Watson the NFL player with the largest amount of guaranteed money ever in the history of football.
How do you make a move like that?
I gotta be his agent, bro.
How do you make a move? How do you make a move like that with DeShaun Watson? Like I think it's so irresponsible. It's so irresponsible. It's a terrible move. And needless to say, you already know I have the issues with DeShaun Watson. You get what I'm saying? Those allegations have not gone anywhere, and it's been almost 2 years.
Now, what's funny is I brought this up in our group chat.
It's not
when
funny
DeShaun Watson was drafted in the 2017 draft.
DeShaun Watson.
When DeShaun Watson was drafted, DeShaun Watson, the Texans traded up in the first round of the draft to select DeShaun Watson. And the funny thing about that was the team that they traded with to get to the spot to pick DeShaun Watson was the Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns were in a position to have drafted DeShaun Watson, didn't, traded with Houston, who then drafted DeShaun, and now they've gotten DeShaun back, essentially wiping out anything they got from that original draft day trade. But yeah, I mean, Tay, last week we kind of spoke about this a little bit. It literally has stumped all three of us, myself, Dre, and Matt, as to how 22 allegations, not one single indictment.
And you get a raise.
And you get a raise. And you get guaranteed money.
Bro, his agent is the GOAT. His agent is the GOAT.
Something smells stink about that whole thing. Something smells fishy about that whole thing. I do not like it. I really feel like Baker Mayfield did not deserve to be done dirty like that by the Cleveland Browns either. They did Odell dirty too. Let's not.
Baker did Odell dirty.
Well, the organization did him dirty too.
Yeah.
Because, that is one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen in my life.
And now you're not going to get fair compensation for Baker because teams know you need to get rid of him. So it's just like they're going to probably give Baker away for scraps based on what they probably could have gotten him for if they traded him in the first place. Now Baker wants to go to Indy. Baker said that his desired destination is to go to the Colts.
And I understand completely why. I would go to Indianapolis too.
More money for him. Truth be told, especially since they let Carson Wentz go.
Yeah, and you know, King Quest, you got a great point. I mean, the Falcons do need to retool, but you would have given away your entire future. Now the issue with Cleveland is they no longer have Jarvis Landry. They no longer have Odell Beckham Jr. You still have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb as your running backs, but all of those weapons that Baker Mayfield had, now DeShaun doesn't have. I also wonder, how does this possibly affect people wanting to come to Cleveland? Because are there players in the NFL that may also hold the same kind of befuddlement that we have and may not feel comfortable playing with Deshaun Watson?
Not just that. We discussed this last week, and it came up. It finally came up on ESPN. How do we know if Bro's going to be playing this season? And if you're stupid like the Cleveland Browns is, you just gave this man $230 billion to possibly sit for all 17 games.
Well, that would be I think a record suspension for someone who wasn't criminally something, but because I think what it been when he had the rape situation was 6 games. So, and I think even Ray Rice was only suspended for a half of the remainder of whatever season he was playing in when the incident happened, when he put his hands on his wife. You know, so I think for non-drug
right there, he did more than put his hands on his wife. He mollywopped that poor woman in a damn elevator. Almost
that he did.
That girl could have died. And then also with this, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, that part.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, and I apologize for mischaracterizing that. But you know, he still is subject to a possible NFL suspension. Deshaun Watson, he still has the civil suit from all 22 allegations. All this was the grand jury saying we are not going to indict him criminally on any of the 22 allegations, which I still don't understand how 22 allegations, not a single criminal indictment.
In Texas.
But now he still has the 22. He still has the 22 civil suits, and he still has a possible NFL suspension. And it's hard to see the NFL not doing something. The NFL, I kind of feel like, has to do something, especially because there were no criminal consequences to what ended up happening.
But that's the reason why I think Roger Goodell is probably like, well, you know, it was he wasn't indicted, but you still got to do something, bro. Like you still have to do something. Your independent investigation has to lead you to some sort of suspension. Not, come on, like we already know how the judicial system is, but for 22 women and not one case to pop, bro.
Now, understand, for people who may have been confused, he was not suspended last year. He just was a healthy, did not play all of last season. He was a healthy scratch from every game. So he got his full salary last season. If he is suspended by the NFL this season for any amount of time, he will lose salary from game to game. But he was not suspended at all. He was just a healthy, did not play all of last year. And by the way, I say this sarcastically. I feel bad for the Carolina Panthers. They were all in on DeShaun for 2 years. They were like, we're going to get him. All the signs pointed towards Carolina getting him. They had done the most research over the last 2 years about what was going on. And Carolina was just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that either.
None of this makes any sense. And it's one of those things where, like we said this last week, we can't really say anything until we don't know anything until they put the public stuff out to why there was no indictment. because it's still insane to me. It's
I
insane to
apologize.
realize.
Cleveland has Amari Cooper.
Who?
Cleveland did get Amari Cooper.
Oh, that's
Big
Dallas.
whoopty damn dude.
Dallas scraps. If Dallas for whatever reason didn't want him, but that is a good enough pickup for him. Now, one last thing in football, right? They're trying to change the overtime rules. No one has anything yet on the table, but 2 out of 32 teams right now are trying to change the overtime rules. We've seen games go to overtime. We've seen how it can go. If there was any changes, what would you kind of do? Matt, I'll start with you.
You can start with me. He's off.
Go ahead, yeah.
I think that you play a full quarter, a full shortened quarter. I think you follow NBA rules. I think you play each quarter is what, like 15 minutes? You play like 8 minutes?
7:30?
Yeah, about 8 minutes.
Mhm.
Give each team one timeout each. You get what I'm saying? And whoever could score, you keep going until somebody wins. I do not like the current overtime rules. I do feel like fortune favors the lucky. Whoever, especially with certain teams, whoever's getting that. Like, I don't like when they could kick a field goal at the end of the game either. I hate it. Don't get me wrong. I hate that too. But with the overtime rules, obviously the freaking Bengals game had a lot to do with that. Because Bills Chiefs?
Yeah.
Bills Chiefs game had a lot to do with that. So you had two teams that absolutely played their hearts out. And because of the luck of the damn draw, you get what I'm saying? Like, whatever team that was winning that coin toss, you knew was winning that game. And I think there's too big of a risk, especially in the playoffs. Maybe not in the regular season. Maybe in the playoffs, the game should be amended because there's only one game per series.
I think that I got you, P. I'm gonna let you.
No.
I think that the crazy part about that game is that Patrick Mahomes just had a touchdown drive before the overtime. So he's already hot. He's already moving. So now you have somebody already in that flow. The man's gonna take them down the field. Right again, like right in less than a minute again, like he did. But Pete, what is your thoughts?
So one of the proposals that's on the table is doing something similar to what they do in college, where they trade off possessions. So the way that the current overtime rules work is if you score a touchdown on your initial possession, you automatically win. So if you win the coin toss and you score a touchdown, you automatically win. But if you kick a field goal, then the other team does get the chance to get a possession. My idea would be a little bit similar to that and a little bit similar to Tay's idea. What I think should happen is run a 2-minute drill for every team. We always say the 2-minute drill is the most intense in football. So run a 2-minute drill for every team, start the ball at the 50. Or start the ball at the 50 or start the ball at the 20, no field goals. No field goals, touchdown and win it. Right? Let your defense play. And every team gets a possession. So if it's my team and Dre's team, I win the coin toss, my team hits the field, Dre's got to play defense, right? And even if I score a touchdown, it's now Dre's offense's game to lose because now Dre's got to go out there as the offensive captain and find a way to match that touchdown, right? Let both sides of the team play because like Tay says, sometimes you end up in games where you have one team's offense is just substantially better than one team's defense, but that other team's offense is equally as good, like the Bills and Chiefs game. And you could have that shootout back and forth. And I think that's what makes football fun. So I do a 2-minute drill. It's calculated. It's intense. You got to run plays that are meaningful. You got to run plays that are going to get you yards. And you got to do what you got to do. Let your defense try to hold them. And if they can hold them or if they score, now it's up to your offense. Because if you held them, now your offense has got to score a touchdown. But if you let them score a touchdown, now your offense has got to go and tie it up. So let both teams get both sides of the ball to play. And that's what I would do in overtime. And the one team that can't keep up, then you lose.
Matt?
Honestly, I'm more of the capacity of you gotta play better defense. I'm like, I get everybody's gripe about the overtime rules and everything, and I personally agree with both Pete and Tavia. If you're gonna change the rules, I mean, shorten the quarter, and whoever has the leading score going out the end of the quarter should win the game. That's keep it like plain. Like it shouldn't be no extra weird rules to try to make it make sense. Like if you score a field goal, the other person gets the possession to try to like score a touchdown. If they score a touchdown, then they win. Like it's weird. Just extend, like add an extra quarter. Whoever wins. They just gotta. You just gotta play to your devices. You gotta play better defense. It's your fault as the coach why your defense is trash.
But
like
Matt,
I'm not
the extended quarter doesn't really work because you know that there are teams that because they have an entire quarter, because they know that there's no urgency. You know, we've seen games where teams just control the clock. Teams will run the football, get that 5 yards, let the clock run down, clock run down. But still,
they run the clock down and they don't score. Then what are you doing?
Yeah, clock management. We've seen teams do that. Brady has done it before, where he'll just run the clock, and then he'll score at the last possible second. And now the other team's only got, X amount of time to do it. That's why I say
you got to play better defense. That's just how that goes. It's a mental and a physical game. You got to know how to. You know that other teams are going to play that game. So if you play that other game, that's up to your defense to step up. That's just how that goes. It is what it is. We always say it. Defense wins games. So if your defense is subpar and you can't make yourself out of an overtime situation against a Tom Brady where he's going to run the clock out and he's going to play clock management to get that last drive to do what he got to do, that's your fault as a coach. That's your fault as a team. Play better. Do better. If you want to win, you have to do better. That's just how that goes. Chiefs beat the Bills. Why? Because they were better at that point in time.
I wouldn't say they were better.
They were better because they got the W.
They were better because
they got the W.
They got the W, yes. But I feel like we would have the same exact conversation had it been the other way around because of the rules. Because I feel like there were no real. Well, that was the biggest game to lose, to be honest with you. And I think that was the best game of the season. If I'm not to be mistaken, it was better than the Super Bowl was good too. But Super Bowl was good. But I feel like I just didn't like how it went down. Like I feel like the Bills should have had an opportunity to get their hands on that ball properly. You get what I'm saying? And
100%.
And I feel like it kind of cheapened it for me because you want to see a definitive ending to that game. I feel like once we saw the coin toss, we knew what the hell was going to happen. It was a spoiler.
I hear you, but ultimately it goes back to us saying the defense has to do better.
Receipts.
What?
Wait, what?
What you say?
Butts are for seats, not sentences. You don't get it? Like K's for horses.
I got you.
I get it.
What I'm saying, like what I was saying is
that was really for your dad, though. But
Lord jeez.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
listen to your mama now, Matt.
You have to stop Patrick Mahomes. That's just how that goes.
How does one stop Patrick Mahomes? Oh my God.
Matt, stop talking back.
I'm not talking about what are you doing right now? What are you really doing right now?
Just go call your father.
Yeah, you'll call your father right on this show and let him talk to you live on this show.
Maybe he may be your father, but he's probably my Ziani.
Worse.
Wow.
Whoa, that was even rare for me. Jeez. You see what happens when I put the strap away, y'all? And for everybody who's listening, when I say strap, I don't mean strap on. I mean strap like Some people be like,
strap.
okay.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
This is awkward. This is.
You making it awkward, baby. We all adults here. You making it awkward. Acting like you don't got 100
That's
kids.
your
You know what time
stepmom. Don't lie
it
to
Don't put
can't
me,
respect
Dre.
your stepmom.
Yo, but honestly though, like it was a disappointing end to the game. You know, it was an epic game, and I feel like the overtime rules should be looked at, maybe tweaked a little bit. I feel like they've changed over the years. I don't feel like it was like that, or maybe it's me.
It was sudden death, first score wins, which usually meant that the first team that got the ball usually almost always won in overtime, unless there was an interception or a 3 and out. But yeah, it used to be sudden death, and then they changed it to if the first team to get possession only scores a field goal, then the second team will get possession.
Yeah.
But if the first team
I like
scores
that too.
game over.
I like that too, but I just feel like you should, I don't know, because any other way, like I feel like you give them some more time, make it a fifth quarter. I personally like how NBA does the overtime. It's like, okay, you know, it's tied at the end of regulation. The first team to score a free throw wins the game, and that's like asinine to me.
Imagine.
Yeah, well, two teams will lose.
I would give up.
I mean, that's the All-Star game format. You can win off a free throw.
Yeah, I know. But the All-Star game is low key kind of entertaining now towards the end. Ain't that some shit?
All right, because people are trying to win, and that was the point of changing the rules of the All-Star game. I just think with the overtime, I think it should be like y'all said. I think it should be XFL stats. Like put the ball on the 20. Whoever wins the toss, put the ball on the 20. You got to get it down the field. Field goal or touchdown, whatever you do, the other team has to get the ball back to recover, to score.
I would get rid of the field goals altogether in overtime.
Yes and no, because you'll get more tie. You'll have more games go to the tie then. We're not trying to have games. We're not trying to have. Yeah, if you have a good defense, yeah, but you'll have more games go to ties, and then that will convolute things even more down in the schedule. Like, you imagine every team has at least 3 ties, and you have to seed them at the end of the season. That's gonna be stupid.
To Matt's point, be better.
I do better. It is what it is.
Be better in the regular season.
You know what you want to accomplish? How you want to accomplish that with subpar defense or subpar special teams or subpar like IQ? You got to be. Look, Tom Brady's the best because he thinks. He has the best mind for an active player. You can't hate the man for what he is. He studied the game. He brought the game. He bought into it. He bought into the mentality of it. That's why he's so great. So yeah, people like Pete or people like me who are Jets fans and had to deal with Tom Brady for a vast majority of our goddamn life doing what the fuck he's been doing. Like, it frustrates us, but you can't hate him because he's smart. Him and Bill Belichick, even though I wish he would have fucking did that on the Jets, but neither here nor there. You know, boom. Like, he brought that mentality. He bought into that mentality. He became who he was because of that mentality. Some call it the Patriot way. Some just call it really, really high IQ and good to great clock management. And it is what it is. He knows what to do to win games.
Take that pain out your heart. It's okay.
Oh, no pain. I'm good. I've dealt with that.
You're not in the AFC no more. It's okay.
I know. That's what I'm good.
In the NFL, that's what matters.
But our next topic is something that's super important, and we're going to get right into it. Brittney Griner, she was arrested in Russia for smuggling. Well, not smuggling, but she was bringing back home vape oils because the news made it seem like she was smuggling, like with the intent to sell. She was taking vape oils back from Russia into the United States, and from what I was told, that is illegal. So, and with this war going on between Ukraine and Russia and the United States kind of aiding Ukraine, Brittney Griner has been locked up in Russia, and there has been barely any news about it.
She's an example.
She yeah, and like Matt is saying, it seems like they're setting an example with Brittney Griner to the United States government.
Saying mind your business.
Right.
That's what they
So
said.
why isn't there any coverage on this though? It has been barely any coverage up until I saw something today saying that the U.S. is requesting something for Brittney Griner, but other than that, I haven't heard much about it.
I don't fully know a lot of the story. I personally don't even think what she's being held is even that deep for her to even be locked up for that degree or whatever the case may be. But I feel like she's just going to be held there until the U.S. does something as far as a document saying that they're going to mind their business. That's what I'm getting out of it. It's not the first time that they've, somebody from another country has held, an American hostage to get their leeway or their leverage on America in a sense. So I mean, I'm not shocked that it's happening. I'm more shocked she went to Russia, knowing what the fuck is going on. But
she plays in Russia she plays in Russia during the off season.
Yeah, I hear you. I know that. Like I said, I'm still shocked that she would even go there, knowing that this is going on. I would have had to be like,
this was way before that. She was trying to get out when everything started popping off.
It's a damn shame. She's a real good basketball player.
This isn't the first time that Russia has done this with an American, let alone a high-profile American. There's a lot of talk as this is being done as a political ploy that they knew exactly who she was. And this is being used as a political bargaining chip, considering Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, and the fact that, Russia wants to probably use Griner as a bargaining chip, like Matt said, to get the United States to kind of back down, because they know the United States is supporting in its way, supporting Ukraine in this war and things like that. And, Putin wants to try to flash his power right now. And I don't want to get too deep into the political side of things. But that's basically what this is. There's been no details as to how much she was carrying, things like that. But she did have vape cartridges of hashish oil, which have much higher concentrations of THC and things like that. And so it's literally this is what she got jailed over. They found vape cartridges in her luggage.
Pete,
and
how you spell it? Hashish.
Hashish?
Yeah.
HASHISH or hash oil. And the worst part about it is, the Customs Service says that a criminal case has been opened talking about large-scale transportation of drugs, which can carry a sentence of up to 10 years in prison in Russia. This is a trumped-up charge. This isn't the first time Russia has done this. It's a high-profile American athlete. This is like when someone goes to jail in Mexico, and it's like, hey, you could be in jail for 20 years, or you can make a donation to the policeman's fund, and everything can go away. That's what this is. And this is, it's highly unfortunate that this is happening to Brittney Griner. It's unfortunate that this could happen to any American traveling through some of these foreign countries, especially Russia. And big kudos to the WNBA stepping up, doing whatever they can for her at the moment. But this is one of those things that, unfortunately, as people would say, this is at the political level. This is one of those things where I don't think it's not a regular sports story, and it's not going to be handled like a regular sports story. This is one of those that this is going to be handled at the high political level.
It should. Terry, you still there? Yeah, no, she said 1 second. Yeah. So the last topic Oh, you're there. Okay. Tay, your opinion on the Brittney Griner situation?
I am disgusted, appalled, and everything all at once. And I think we don't talk about it enough because they don't talk about female athletes enough, unless it's something negative, that they're doing, unless it's their attitude, unless how they're perceived, unless how you heard about how I heard more about her personal love life than I ever did about this situation. And this situation is life threatening, potentially. Right. No one's heard from her in days. Okay, so that's the serious extent of what this is. And I feel like the media cherry picks, as we know, what they want to talk about, what they don't want to talk about. And I feel like this is an unfortunate instance of being a Black famous female lesbian athlete. You get what I'm saying? All of those things which I appreciate and I love. You know what I'm saying? The media doesn't always do so. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like she should be freed. She should be freed immediately. I feel like you give her a chance to fight this fairly. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is propaganda and bullshit. And I think that I'm scared for her life. I'm scared for her safety. And I feel like I wish there was something in my power that I can do to protect another Black woman because society failed her again.
Yeah. America too.
Yeah.
But there's not much we can do. It's Russia that arrested her. Unlawfully, illegally, ridiculous. And Tay's 100% right. There's not much we can do. And like I said, this is a much more political issue. I think Tay is 100% right as well that there is not enough media coverage of it, though. This should be a top story in a lot of places, and there should be more of an outcry. But this is Russia using a high-profile American athlete as a bargaining chip to try and pressure the United States into letting them do what the fuck they're doing in Europe, which is already fucking disastrous and ridiculous.
That's it. I feel like it's just what all it is a tool for them to tell America, like, are y'all gonna mind your business? Y'all gonna mind your business? Because honestly, if this wasn't the situation, do you think she would have got arrested?
No, I don't. If Russia was not doing what they're doing right now in Ukraine and having the issues that they're having with the American government, I don't think Brittney Griner would have been trying to fly. First off, Brittney Griner wouldn't have been in the airport trying to come home because of the shit that's going on in Russia, meaning she wouldn't have gotten picked up at the airport. She wouldn't have gotten detained by customs. All of this ties back to what Russia is doing and the atrocities that Russia is creating. And that is the only reason why Brittney Griner was leaving, because as Dre said, Brittney Griner has played for a Russian team during the WNBA offseason for many years now and had no issues traveling back and forth to America. Yeah. But now she does. And listen, I'm going to be dead ass. I said I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the first time that she's traveled with something, okay? Yeah. If she is a smoker, she probably has traveled with something before, and it's never been a freaking issue. But now it's an issue because it's not like it's not like it's an illegal substance.
It's not. It's not.
It is openly sold in Russia in vape cartridges. So it is not an illegal substance. It's not like she's trying to fly out of Russia with 30 pounds or 30 kilos of an illegal drug. She's not. You know, she was traveling with some vape cartridges, but now you want to detain her and threaten her with 10 years? Nah, come on now. Come on, bro. Do better.
So the very, very last topic is this New York City mandate on the vaccine and what it pertains to all sports teams, because now we're looking at the upcoming baseball season and it's looking like unvaccinated players on the Yankees and the Mets will not be allowed to play, but the incoming visitors who are unvaccinated will be able to play. Why? What is going on? Why? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Shouldn't it be where if you're unvaccinated, you should not be able to play in New York in general? Because that's what it seems like the common sense thing would be.
They're moving a damn goalpost again.
I think part of that goes back to the political issue of, like, for example, we cannot mandate what other people have to do in their home states. So if Matt lives, let's say, for example, Matt lives in PA and PA has different rules and Matt is living his life based on PA rules and he just so happens to have to travel for work to another state, we as a state cannot mandate what it is that Matt has to do based on his state's regulations, because in his state, he is not mandated to have to do that. So that's why you have that confusion of why visiting players can do it, but home players cannot.
Well, the problem with that is, if I'm coming from Pennsylvania and I'm playing in New York, I got to pay New York taxes, right? You got to pay New York taxes. Remember, each team, when they file their taxes, remember, they're getting their taxes they're getting taxed from each state that they play in.
I love it when he get all like accountant like
yeah, boy. This happens with all the teams. This happens with all the teams. So if you're getting taxed in each state, why shouldn't I have to follow those rules? If I have to follow the financial rules, why shouldn't I have to follow the government rules?
And that's the
government's not even following the government's rules. This whole COVID pandemic, a lot of the reason why we're still in a pandemic sense instead of an endemic sense is because people do not know how to follow the guidelines that they're putting into place. I feel like we are getting different messages every other week, every this, every that. And I feel like the government decided that the pandemic was over, but in ways in which benefited the economy and not ways that benefited everyday people. And I feel like if you're not vaccinated, then you should, me personally, and that's just a personal opinion, I'm not saying it's facts. I feel like if you made the decision to not get vaccinated, you are within your rights to do so. But I feel like you should still face repercussions, because if I had to do one to live, you should have to do one to live too. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if the government's saying, well, it's okay if you play in Utah, but you can't play in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Like, what type of precedent is that setting for other people? You get what I'm saying? And that's why the cases are going down and they're getting back up, because people just don't know how to follow compliance. Period.
Matt, your thoughts on it?
I've been told you my thoughts about it. I think the whole shit is like, it's too much. Like, it's way too much. Like I said it was kind of a dumb ass, and everybody was getting at me about it because they was led to believe like, oh, you can't play in other states either, and or like the other players that come into New York cannot play either. And I was like, no, that's the rules. I've been saying this since that mandate first dropped, and everybody was sitting there telling me like, no, that's not the rules. I'm like, I can fucking read. It says you can still play here. If you are a resident or if you are employed in New York City, you cannot participate in nothing if you are not vaccinated. So I said it didn't make sense to me then. Everybody was like, no, you're just trying to defend Kyrie. Look, I think Kyrie should have been got vaccinated, and that's strictly off the basis of that team and what they set out to do, or whatever the case may be. But if his decision was he didn't want to get vaccinated, fully understood. A lot of people were uncomfortable with getting vaccinated. I'm one of them. I was very uncomfortable with getting vaccinated. I didn't agree with doing it, but I did it for the betterment of my family. I still have to get an income for my family. So I understood. I complied. Not happy about it, but I did. I did it. Didn't understand a lot of that damn vaccine either, but I still did it. So I get his gripe. I get a lot of people's gripe about not getting vaccinated. That is 100% fully their right. If they can afford to do that, cool. Do you, live you, do what you got to do. But if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Nobody can make it make sense how tourists or players or other teams can come to New York and live life like it's still 1999 and we ain't got nothing to worry about. But the residents can't.
I think, though, here's the bigger issue, right? Like, as you said, you mentioned the residents. There were thousands of New Yorkers who had to lose their jobs, okay, because of the vaccine mandate, right? They didn't want to get vaccinated. That was their choice. I may disagree with their choice, but that was their choice. And companies had to fire, employees who refused to get vaccinated at a specific time. That was a New York City business mandate. Now, technically, the Knicks, they didn't have to do that in terms of their players, right? Madison Square Garden employees, people who are employed by the New York Knicks organization who did not get vaccinated, had to lose their jobs. People who work for the Brooklyn Nets organization who did not get vaccinated had to lose their job. But that mandate did not continue on to the players. And let's be real honest. If the Nets were not worried about hurting Kevin Durant's itty-bitty feelings, they would have done traded Kyrie Irving the minute he said he didn't want to get the damn vaccine, because they wanted somebody who would have played every single game. So we understand that the only reason why this is even an issue right now for the NBA players, because you don't see anybody on the Knicks having trouble. Every player on the Knicks active roster plays every single one of their games.
And you know what? I feel like if Kyrie was a regular, average, everyday player, it would not have been to his favor, which shows you the privilege, right?
Yep.
And I feel like there were teachers who lost their jobs over this damn vaccine, educators, everyday people who need their jobs to live. And we have millionaires who are bending the rules, not just the players, the associations, the politicians, the people who are in charge. You get what I'm saying? They are bending the rules to their whims. And you're playing with people's lives. You don't remember 2 years ago, every day we were on this show talking about 800 people died, 400 people died, 600 people died. You know what I'm saying? And we forget how quick we forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's disgusting to me. And then, with Kyrie, he stuck to his guns, he stuck to his beliefs, and I cannot judge that. I will not do that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Do I feel like, he lost his mind? Maybe for me, yeah, okay. But in the grand scheme of things, it is within his rights. But I feel like these corporations, they play with people's health. You can lay off teachers, school crossing guards, police officers, firemen for their beliefs. And then you have a superstar player who has similar beliefs and is still able to toe the line between vaccine, non-vaccine, and still win. So what message are you really giving to everyday people who need their jobs to survive? Kyrie don't have to work another day in his life and be all right. His kids will be all right. That's what matters to me.
Yep.
And Matt, it wouldn't be nothing to talk about. It wouldn't be nothing to talk about if the whole country went through with this. Man,
right, Matt, you're not wrong.
It just happened. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes when we're speaking about this subject, everybody feels like I'm just doing it because of Kyrie. No, the whole mandate did not make sense to me. I'm sorry, it didn't, and it didn't make sense that it only happened in 3 or 4 places, but then the rest of the country was still living their life like nothing. Florida and Georgia was living life like nothing happened. People are dying, and they were living life like nothing happened. So this is what I'm saying. And here we are. The mandate came into play in what, September? It came into play like September. So it was New York, it was California. I think it was it Texas? I don't know if it was Texas. It was Texas.
Texas tried, and the Republicans was like, I don't know. If it, like,
so all in all, you had like 4 states that did this mandate.
Jersey had it.
Jersey had it.
But Jersey's not really living by the shit no more. So
we're saying we had. You're talking about who had it. That's what your point is. That's what I'm.
But that's what I'm saying. But out of all of it, you started off with like 4 or 5 states. Now you're down to just what, 2? Because I don't even know if California's still living with their mandate.
So California still has. Yeah, California has been one of the toughest places with the mandate. But you make a great point. Tay has made a great point as well. But Matt, I'm going to say you straight up, you're not wrong, right? But it goes, you're not wrong because of what Tay said in her initial point, right? That you've got a lot of people who made the rules, who ain't even following the rules that they made, right? Yeah. You've got a lot of people who are out there making the mandates, who are out there saying, you got people who are saying one thing and living another, right? People all here saying you got to get vaccinated, but then to do this, or you got to be masked to go do this, but then they're not living it themselves. So you have a point, Matt. Listen, the NBA didn't have a foot to stand on when it came to this in terms of mandating that the players could not play anywhere, whatever. The NBA, as we know, when it comes to their power against the NBA Players Association, the NBA is basically a whipping boy. Okay, the Players Association is very, very strong in the NBA. And the NBA, they had no foot to stand on, and you had to go with statewide regulation. Tay made another great point. If Kyrie was just another player, this wouldn't even be a conversation. It'd be a conversation simply because we're coming up on baseball season and because you got Yankees and Mets who can't play because of the same thing. But at the end of the day, listen, I'm vaccinated.
Bradley Bill is not vaccinated.
All of us on this show are vaccinated.
Bradley Bill's not in New York.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's players in the NBA that are not vaccinated that are still playing their whole season. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's just the Kyrie Irving thing. It's more or less like it was a topic when because Wiggins it was his religious faith that it was against his religion to even get that vaccine. But he had to do it. He got it done. So the respect is there.
Everybody tried every backdoor, every exemption. It's like with taxes. You tried every loophole, every this, every that to try and get as much money as you can. And then when you realize you can't, they don't work, you just go back to doing what you need to do. And there were a lot of people, NBA players, NFL players. What was it? Aaron Rodgers was immunized. Antonio Brown had a fake vaccination card. There were, listen, people think this is fake. There were legitimately people online, on social media, selling fake vaccination cards because people wanted to go out and live their life and do whatever they wanted to do without having to comply with the vaccine. And again, all of us are vaccinated. People don't agree. Live your life, have your choices, do what you want. I made my choice based on what was good for my life. Tay made her choice based on what was best for her life and her family. Dre, same thing. Matt, same thing. Listen, if it was up to Matt, if Matt had been a single man, didn't have to worry about anything, probably wouldn't have gotten vaccinated. But the man has children. The man has a wife. The man had to make the best decision for his family. He did
would I have gotten vaccinated? Yes.
I don't think I would have. If my job wasn't on the line, and you guys, I'm coming up on 10 years in the aviation industry, to basically throw that away over 2 shots.
We literally had a whole. This wasn't on air. This is just us, doing what we do, talking shop. We've had this discussion, and I was just literally like, all right, Tay's health it's not a secret. Everybody knows what she battled. It was more or less Tay's health also played a part in my decision too. Because I'm like, that's my sister. I'm gonna be in the booth with her. I'm in the trenches with her regardless. I don't want to affect her health, just like I don't want to affect my kids' health. I want to be able to provide for my family. So all the pros were there. The only con was I did not understand this shit. I didn't know what's in this shit. I don't know the reactions that I'm going to have to this vaccine, because I have reactions to the flu vaccine. So like I already know it's a line that's there. I can get really, really sick, or I can be like, I'm fine, I'm just going to have soreness. It's a real thin line. So there was a lot of pros into why I got the vaccine. Most of it was family. Tay's included in the family and my job. So I'm able to provide for my family. That's the only reason why I got the vaccine. Just like I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why Dre really got it, is because of his job and because, like I said, we're in the trenches. We were fully planning to get back into the studio and be amongst each other. Yeah, schedule is the way it is, but that was the plan. We didn't want to affect Tay's health. We didn't want to affect Pete's health. Dre got his family that are, a little bit older, and my father, he's old too. So, that plays a part in it, but my father's old. I'll say what I say. I don't care.
How old is he?
He's 63.
He hitting that age range. Age range for Tay.
He close to that AARP with Social Security. If he don't already got it, he ain't gonna tell me though. He only got $20.
Tay no.
Look, you know what?
Tay know if he got it.
But yeah, Pete, it's not about Kyrie.
Daddy back.
Y'all get on my damn nerve. Pete, it's not all about Kyrie. I know I do that to fuck with you sometimes, but I just feel like it's not just unfair to Kyrie. It's an unfair mandate, regardless. Like, I just think it's not necessarily Eric Adams' fault this is the hand that he's being dealt, and he has to play in his head like, do I really want to be the face of the I told you so's or a joke mandate or like?
But notice how the only story that's out there. Notice how the only reason why people are talking about, yo, can Eric Adams get rid of this mandate is always tied to, oh, we want Kyrie Irving to play. Oh, the Yankees are coming back. We want the stars. No one's talking about, yo, can we lift this mandate and probably get people back their jobs? Yo, can we lift this mandate so other people can do this? The only reason why major news outlets, why ESPN, why the Daily News, why the New York Post, why the New York Times, the only reason why this is even a story is because they want to know if Kyrie can play in the playoffs. They want to know how it's going to affect Yankee players who are not going to be able to play in Yankee Stadium. They want to know about the Met players that can't play in Citi Field.
But this is ultimately what I told you. This is what I told you like a few months back. We're joking on Kyrie about like his mental and him like, and slowly but surely, people made him the face of the mandate. So it's like it just that smooth. Nobody wanted to like hear what he had to say, but then slowly but surely, shit started sinking in like, yo, this is some bullshit. How is it Bradley Beal can come to Madison Square Garden and play, and he's not vaccinated?
The thing is that I also remember us mentioning that at the beginning of everything too. We all was like, this doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, but everybody was sitting there talking about like that wasn't.
And that was an NBA issue. That was an NBA because I guarantee you, if the NBA would have been able to, if the NBA would have been the only reason why, if the NBA would have been able to go to the Players Association and say, look, if a player's not vaccinated, fine, they cannot play home or away. Okay, but you know what that meant? That what meant that they had to do? They had to suspend players. And guess what that means? If you're suspended, you don't get paid. And all of a sudden, the NBA Players Association was like, hold up. You're going to mess with these players' money? We can't let you do that. And guess what? I guarantee you, if all those teachers that lost their jobs again, I'm a teacher. I'm vaccinated. Okay, that was my choice. For my mother, because my mother at the time when she was still alive was asthmatic and had major issues. My mother was scared shitless. My mother was a medical receptionist. She worked for a doctor in a pediatrics office where the only people in that office were my mother and the doctor. So when people came into that office, the only people they interacted with was my mother and the doctor. And my mother was already asthmatic, right? So when COVID came, my mother was scared shitless every single day that she had to go to work. If that woman could have worn a hazmat suit to go to work every day, she would have. I drove my mother to work every day and picked her up every day so that she didn't have to take the train. So I got vaccinated for my own choices, right? But those other teachers who didn't want to get vaccinated, who lost their jobs, why aren't we talking about, okay, let's lift the mandate and now let's see if we can get these teachers back on the payroll. Let's see if we get these sanitation workers back on the payroll.
He's the face of that problem. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Not just that. The problem is if it's not beneficial to anybody but the people who's making the most money.
And if these regular people would have had backing as strong as the NBA Players Association, I guarantee you nobody lost their job. Same way nobody had to get suspended in the NBA.
Absolutely. But family, this was a great episode. Very great episode.
Yes, it was.
So found out Tay wants to date an old dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not date, but companion.
Yeah,
candy stripe a little bit.
Candy.
What were you about to say, Tay?
We have to figure out what we're gonna do for our 100th episode. As you may know, as you may not know, my next couple of weekends are screwed.
I won't be here on Saturday.
Oh, neither will I. We will not be doing so.
So maybe we go on hiatus for a couple of weeks, and maybe we should do like after the Yerrrs if we can, because I'm going to be home all week. So if something happened, I could do stuff in the evening this week. I'm down, but I really feel like we should do an in-person taping for our 100th episode. I think we celebrate each other, celebrate the journey. COVID friendly, of course. If COVID
was vaccinated, so we good. We all vaccinated. We good. We could work, baby. We vaccinated.
Yeah.
We should maybe go to a Brooklyn Nets game.
Oh, by the time that's over, they won't even be in the playoffs, so we ain't worry about it.
Wow.
But we will definitely take some time. Well, yep, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later on, guys. But shout out to the Job Chase Network, all of them, all of the shows. You guys heard me say this for 99 other episodes. You guys know how many shows are on the network. But shout out to each and every one of us. Again, we're about to hit a big milestone. We hit 2 years. This year, we're about to hit 100 episodes in the same year. Again, I wouldn't do it with any other bunch of people. It's my family.
What's you about to say? A bunch of what?
Bunch of hooligans and miscreants.
He's about to say assholes. I know. You ain't got to.
Hooligans and miscreants.
Right. Who's the biggest asshole though?
So 4, BK Matt.
Okay, great. We got to have awards. Who's the nicest one out of the 4 of us?
Me.
Okay, that's fair. Me. All right. Who's the funniest?
For the voice of the generation, Pete Rosado. For the Queen Tay. For BK Matt. Again, it is your boy Big Baby signing off.
Who the funniest though?
Peace.
It's me.
Hey.
It's always me.